Hey everyone, Solly Sims here, and today I'm doing a build for my tiny living challenge. I'm not going to go over any of the details or the rules of the challenge, but I do have to make a 5x5 home, so I thought I'd make a quick build for this. It is a pretty quick build. I think the entire kind of time for this video is like 16 minutes or something like that, 16 or 17. So I thought I'd just do like a quick build for it, and it is Hobbit themed. At first, I thought it was elf themed in my head. When I halfway through building this, I was like, okay, it's the elf house. I'm gonna do like the elf hills. You know how elves live in hills. In my brain, I was thinking, okay, elves live in hills. I make a little elf home. That way, maybe the tiny living won't bother me as much because I'm gonna think, okay, these are elf people. But halfway through, I was like, wait, this is a Hobbit house. And then I started looking up Hobbit homes and things like that, and it kind of made sense then and there. I don't know too much about hobbits. I didn't watch the movies. I did see a bit of the Lord of the Rings. Shout out to my mom because she's all about that, and I do remember the Hobbit homes, but I thought they were elves at the time. So here I'm just trying to make the roofs rounded out so it looks like it's growing out of the ground. There's not too much you can do in The Sims 4 as far as making it grow out of the ground and making the terrain a part of the home. There was a cheat for that, but they don't have that anymore, so I just kind of made it curved. There are different ways you can do this, make it look like a hill or whatever, but I thought this was the simplest way. So here I'm just painting the roof green and doing like the edging just to make it look kind of cohesive, and I do mess around with the terrain around it, kind of making it look ingrown. And here I'm adding some of the paneling, like European paneling that came with the get together, and I kind of add the different paneling on the side to kind of give it some character. And then in the back here I add full length panel windows. I was gonna go with these, but you know, it doesn't really work because it's an odd number. 5 is an odd number, so I went with the single ones as you see here. And I turned move object on. I didn't really need to at the moment because you don't need move objects to put the windows there, but I do use a lot of move objects in this build just to make the terrain kind of looked ingrown around the house. And here I add kind of like a door. What door does this come with? Like a move it, like I think it's like movie stuff or whatever. And it looked kind of cute. I wish it was more like, I wanted the dark wood, but I wanted it to be kind of colorful and mystical. It didn't really give me that vibe, but it was the closest thing. And I did add the windows. No, I didn't add the windows on the side. I wish I added the windows on the side, but I didn't. None of them were really speaking to me. I liked the little cross one here, but it didn't place where I wanted it to place. And I wish I would have tried harder to put the windows down, but it just wasn't working. And here I'm adding the rocks, and I kind of forgot to scale them at first, and then I remember, oh yeah, they need to be big, so I scaled it up, and I put the rocks, I'm putting the rocks on the base, kind of the corner, so it looked kind of ingrown in a part of the terrain. And here I'm trying to add some kind of shrubbery. I do add a lot of shrubbery and a lot of trees kind of to blend in more than I do the rocks. The rocks are a great idea, and they do what they need to do, but I kind of like using the shrubs more and the trees more to make it kind of look like it's in a forest, which you don't really see. Sorry if you hear that car. My husband's kind of driving with his friends, and they are into like this whole muscle car thing, so you hear engines coming in and out because they're cruising tonight. I think that's what they call it, cruising. Anyway, here I'm making it look kind of like a forest. I use mostly pines, and I think the tree with the white flowers are magnolias. I think they're really pretty, and added kind of like a mystical pop to it, kind of like fairies or whatever. I know you don't find like hills just in the middle of a forest like with trees going around it, but it does what it needs to do. I mean, I'm not going to complain on the realism. It is a game, so whatever. And I'm just adding... Can I rant for a minute? I hate these bushes, and I don't know why I use them. I don't use them too much in this build, but they are on the side, and I do use them a bit around the back because I do make those windows a lot more private because they look kind of modern for this build. But those purple flowers on them are disgustingly ugly, and I hate them, and I don't know why I use them, and I'll probably change it or maybe not. I mean, it is just the terrain and I probably won't be seeing it that often. But I do use a lot of these low-laying shrubs, kind of to camouflage the front of the area, kind of make everything look ingrown, unkept is what I was trying to go for. I really like the lavender. You'll see me trying to put that in all of, like, in a lot of different places here, but they don't really work. I do put it in on the side, but it just didn't do too much for me. So here I am using the rocks on the end here. I don't use it on the other end. I just thought the trees and the bushes took care of that, so I went ahead and added more bushes and the low-lying shrubs to kind of camouflage the corner of this here. I use a lot of those low-lying shrubs. Here's the lavender here. I just kind of placed it there kind of because I really like the flower, and it was kind of like a European build, and I know you can find like lavender fields in certain part of Europe, so I kind of put it there, but they don't really go. And that ugly bush I keep trying to use, and I do use a little bit too much. But here I think I go around the side. There's not much I do in the front here, but I do go around the side trying to camouflage those windows. I thought they had vines. I thought they had vines that grow up the side of the houses that I can place. I know in Sims 3 or 2 they had vines like that, but they don't. They only have like this moss that's on the floor. So I try to use these bushes. That doesn't really work. And I try again, like, hey, maybe this does grow. Maybe they have like one that grow, and I try to find. They don't. Anyway, I did try to use a wall hanging, I think. Yeah, this, which I see in a lot of builds, people using this as like privacy for windows, full-length windows, but they're ugly in this, but they don't really go. I mean, the idea kind of goes, but they don't really go, especially because it's a 5x5. So I end up making hedges. I kind of do hedges around the back there just to camouflage it, because it's just a little too modern for this build. I mean, it looks good from the back, but the back and the front don't really match, and it needs to look unkept and ingrown. And here I'm just trying to camouflage, like kind of do a little bit of the detailing. I did try to add a pathway, but I was like, that's a little too inviting for an elf's home. I was still thinking elf at the time, so, and a hobbit's home too. I don't think, hobbits are more friendly than elves, I would think, more inviting, but I didn't think a pathway would work, or a gate. I did try to add a gate as well, and I was like, and then I did that, and I was like, why? And then I end up doing these privacy hedges on the sides here, and with the purple flowers. I thought those were really cute. The only time that I like purple flowers in this build at all were these hedges, and I do end up camouflaging them with these ugly. I should have used the lavender. I really should have kept the lavender, but I used those ugly bushes that I hate. And there they are, making their appearance once again. And then I should have stuck with the stone that I was using, the spray paint right here, because it looks a lot more unkept. But I went ahead and used the second stone here. I think that's the stone I went with. I can't really remember if I change it later on in this build, but I think the second stone that I used was the stone that I went with. I think so. I can't remember. And that's pretty much it for the outside of the home. I am doing a little bit of detailing here and there. I'm not really big on building, like I said, so detailing isn't something I do often. I just kind of build the house, if I even build the house. I do love looking through what people do on the gallery. You guys are creative people. Sims people are so creative with the way they do things. I mean, I was pretty creative, in the Sims 3 and the Sims 2, but I didn't really expand with the technology. The technology you can use for building now is pretty awesome, but I didn't really grow with it. So I kind of got left behind. So a lot of things go over my head when people are like, oh, you can use this cheat for this and that and that and that. And I'm like, what? I'm just going to make a box and live in that. That's fine with me. But here I'm just adding a bit more shrubs, kind of just trying to get that grown in feel. And I think I did a great job at it, honestly, way better than I thought I did. I kind of surprised myself with these builds. I let myself down with those ugly bushes, but I surprised myself in every other aspect. And here I'm just kind of doing the inside here. The interior didn't take too long. right now I'm just thinking about where I'm going to place anything. At the moment, I do regret making the door right smack dab in the middle, but where else do I want to put it? It's like a perfectly round, round house, and I could put it off to the side, but it wouldn't make too much sense. So the door stays in the middle, but I do put the bathroom right there as you come in. I'm just adding that at the moment. It does not have a sink in there, and I don't think I'm ever going to put a sink in there. I think there's a way you can fit a sink, but I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm trying to go with dark wood as well. So I went ahead and just put the shower, and I used the shower from, what expansion pack is that? From Outdoor Retreat, and just kind of like an antique looking toilet. I try to make everything look outdoorsy and antique inside the house as well as outside the house. A little unkept and like ingrown. If that makes sense. That's what I was thinking, like unkept the entire time. Like what looks unkept but cute as well, because elves and hobbits and fairies are cute. I don't know why I added fairies, but they're added as well. So I try to use the cutest door and the cutest everything to make everything look cute, unkept, and grown woodsy would be, I guess, the best way to put it. So right now I'm adding the bed. I thought, the bed's probably the most important part, and so I just kind of put that there. And at first I was going to have the bedroom over to the side where it is now and have the kitchen right where you come in. And here I'm just testing to make sure you can come in, but that doesn't stay there. I end up putting the bed in front, but you'll see that later. And I did start off with the kitchen right as you come in, but it just didn't configure right. I wasn't able to make it look, presentable. And another part of the challenge was you have to use one thing from every section. So one thing from the kitchen, one thing from the bathroom, bedroom, living room, things like that. So I had to use at least one item from each, and it didn't have to be the worst item. Oh, I love this little stove with the wood under it. It is so cute. It looks exactly like it should, like for this challenge, for this build and what I was trying to do. It's perfect. And I went ahead with those dark wood countertops, but they stay, but they don't stay there. I end up putting them in another direction. And as you'll notice, there isn't an extra counter for cutting. I was under the impression that you could use the table to cut, but you can't, so I'm gonna have to go in and change that during the build, or during the challenge. Sorry, it's a little late and my mouth's a little dry from talking, so it's getting hard. But during the challenge I'm gonna have to change that and add in the extra counter, which I think I have room for. So I'm not even sweating about that. So here I'm just looking at it and I'm like, this isn't working because I can't add everything. So I end up putting the kitchen in its final spot, which is there, and putting the bed there, which leaves me that little corner there and another corner there. And in this challenge, I do have to have a child and have the child live in the house as well as the two parents. So I'm just right here. I think I test out whether I can add another bed. I wasn't thinking about the second bed until just now, and I was like, oh wait, I need a place to put a bed. So I changed the direction of the door to be right there, and I just kind of test whether I use the teen bed and see if she can come in, which she couldn't. So I kind of pushed the bed up against the wall a little bit more. I don't know if you can use the bed that way, but I think it works out that way. I know another version of this challenge where when you have a kid, you can make it upstairs or downstairs. I don't see myself making it upstairs or downstairs at all. I think I'll do it just 4x4, 5x5, keep everything in that space. I don't know, maybe I'll break and make it downstairs or make a basement area, because I definitely can't make it upstairs in this build. I'm not killing all the work that I did outside that house, but I went ahead and kept that space clear and added a table and a little, what do you call it? Not a computer, but a TV right there. And I was thinking, maybe they could sit down at the table and watch the TV. They're pretty close, so their necks are gonna hurt, but it'll be fine. I'm gonna have to end up getting rid of that though, or putting the table in that corner where the bed's supposed to be, and putting another counter for cutting in the rest in the other corner because you can't cut on the table. You can only place it down there, which is weird, but I'm fine with that. Here, I just messed around with the dark wood. I ended up putting that stone that I first used, back on there. I was messing around the brick, but the stone is what I went with. And then inside the bathroom, I use a wallpaper, kind of like a green floral-y thing, and I changed the color of the shower, but I'm gonna end up changing that back. I like the dark wood a lot better. And then I just I'm trying with the floors. I don't know, did I keep those floors? I don't know why I kept that marble. And I put a bin in there and a bin outside, and I'm pretty sure that's it for this challenge. And I'm just gonna show you guys everything at the end. Oh, and a little cute little mailbox I thought went so well. The stone in this challenge, stone in this house really looks well, so I was happy that they had the little cute mailbox. And here at the end, I'm just gonna show off the house. Oh, I add little lights. I do. Wait, do I? I think I added the little lights. I could have sworn I added lights somewhere. Maybe on the ground. Yeah, I added little lights on the ground. There we go. And then I'm just gonna show off the house, messing with the door first. I don't like the colors. I really don't like the colors of those doors, except that one. And I wish they came in different colors with the dark wood, but you can't ask for everything. Then a little bit of detailing. I think I'm just going through trying to add decorations at the moment, which there was, you can decorate however you want in this challenge, but there wasn't much room for much, so I just kind of added 2 little things there. I thought they were cute. I'm gonna keep them. They're not all that, but they're fine the way they are. Sorry about the engine. If you hear it, it's pretty loud. And this is pretty much the end of the build. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy, and you guys have a wonderful day.